one's called Feel the Rap, and it has words.
Feel the rap. Feel the rap. Rap, 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 rap. Rap.
Good. Recording in progress. All right, so what's up, Jesse?
Not much, Carl. Dude, long time no see, dude.
Oh, yeah.
One of these days, we're actually going to go get some Grullo tacos.
Totally. Yeah, we got some spots out here in Gilroy, too, that are just like the Redwood City one.
In Gilroy, that's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a few.
I built quite a few houses in Gilroy back in the late 90s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I used to be a framer over there.
Sick.
And we would drive over the hill, do a bunch of blow, and fucking build houses. It was pretty sick.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
But,
Fuck. But, yeah, so tell me about, you just went to a punk show?
Yeah, I was just, I work on Saturdays, and I left the house this morning at like 4:50. Came home. I was on my way home. My kid was like, "Hey, dude, we're going to this Oceanside Board Riders Club thing, and these couple bands are playing." And so I just checked out two different bands playing. One of them was kind of old guys like us, and they were playing all the old punk songs from when we were like, in high school and stuff.
Sick.
Bunch of Circle Jerks and Dead Kennedys and all kinds of stuff. And they did it good too. It was sick.
Okay.
And then there was another band that was kind of more like a couple of freshmen and sophomore kids doing Sabbath and Slayer, and they were badass, dude. This one kid, his name's Townsend, the guitarist, and he's like a guitar prodigy. It reminded me of like Kindred when we were kids, kind of,
Right.
like being all good on guitar. And this kid was jamming fucking Slayer, like, dude, like really good.
Damn.
And there was a little chick singer. She didn't quite have it like the gnarliness, but she was still cool.
Oh, yeah.
They had it down.
That's sick.
But,
That's cool. Well, these kids are, still into it, whatever. Because really, they have no music to listen to nowadays. There's nothing on the radio. There's no real groups. They all have to listen to old shit because the new shit is just garbage.
New shit's not that good anymore, huh?
No, I mean, there's just no music to listen to. Everybody's like, I don't even know, dude. Like, it's all that rap with fucking voice box and shit and like trap music and like just garbage. Like, it's just all. Yeah, we were lucky to have what we had when we were growing up because nowadays kids don't have shit. It's fucked up.
Yeah. But, that was, I guess we were kind of like pre-digital kind of, huh?
Yeah. I mean, and we were just lucky to have so many bands coming up, when we were growing up that, and now kids, they all get shit from the internet. They don't go to shows really. I mean, we were lucky and fortunate to be able to go do that kind of shit. And then we can tell our kids about it and they're like, what's that? Like shows?
Yeah.
I see shit on the internet. Like all I know is this fucking computer.
Yeah. It's a different time, huh?
Totally. So
I'm I've always been a construction worker, so I'm like very non-computer. Like if it ain't a screwdriver involved or something, I pretty much don't know shit about it. But
that's cool.
Right.
No, good. So for everybody who doesn't know, Jesse was the first vocalist for the band Plutocracy from Redwood City. And me and Jesse been friends for basically ever since we were like probably 15, 16, right?
Yeah, 14.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. And
I mean, way before we drove.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Remember,
we were taking a bus and shit everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah.
But a couple kids like us though, even once we drove, we still rode skateboards.
Hell,
the bus anyway.
Hell. Yeah, and
but we'll skate there, you know what I mean?
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, even when my car broke, I'm still gonna go skate. I had to, you know, my bug that I bought when I was like, I don't know, 18, 19 years old. I had it for like 2 weeks and the engine blew up, but I had to keep going to work in Palo Alto. So I would take the bus and I worked swing shift too. So I'd get up there, you know, 1:30, go to work all day and then take the bus home. And I'd take the very last bus home from Palo Alto. It was fucked up, but I mean, you know, you had to do what you had to do, but you know, but yeah, so we're just gonna run through. I you know, it's not really a scripted podcast. This is the first time I've ever done this. You know, me and Frank, we still run a podcast, and that's not going to change. I just want to start something new, talk to old homies, see how they're doing, whatever, and then, you know, just fucking run through some shit, you know. But so you were born in Redwood City, or?
No, I wasn't born in Redwood City, but I'm pretty much my dad went to Sequoia. I went to Sequoia. I was actually born on a corn farm in Visalia. My dad used to my old man he got this job where he was sharecropping corn and they grew weed in the middle of it and they made him drive it back to San Francisco.
Oh shit.
And so I was born there, but I never really lived in Visalia, but maybe a little bit, you know.
Nice. Oh yeah.
You know, but I lived in Santa Cruz until I was maybe like almost 10 or something.
Okay.
And then I went and lived in at my dad lived at his mom's house, and I lived there too.
Okay. And that was right around the corner from that KFC.
Street. You've been there.
That was right around the corner from that KFC. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we used to hang out there all the time.
You remember the KFC ramp?
Hell, we'll get to that. But yeah, and then you said, so you went to elementary where? Elementary school?
I went to Clifford.
Okay.
I went to Clifford like from 5th grade on.
Okay. So 5th and 6th, and then you went to McKinley, right?
McKinley.
Right. And then that's where you met Steve. So Weapon.
Yeah, that's where I met Steve, dude. Okay. Me and him were pretty tight.
Fuck yeah.
I used to sleep over at that kid's house like every night.
And then you'd sneak out and come to my house and we'd go skate all over Redwood City.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hell, hide from cops and shit.
Dude, yeah.
Bomb down Oak Knoll at like 2:00 in the morning. That shit was hella fun. Fuck
dude, there was some good skating streets around there.
Hell yeah.
Everything was smooth, remember? Wasn't everything smooth?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. I mean, you know, we had, and then when we found Tombo's, that was the shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your hill was a pretty good bomb, kind of down around that turn.
Totally.
Yeah, that was a pretty good ride down that hill.
Yeah.
I mean, I love skateboarding. I'm kind of actually off the skateboards, dude.
What's that?
I'm off the skateboards.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've been hurt a couple times on them, like in my mid to late 40s. Uh-huh. And when I get home, my old lady's like, "Dude, I think you ought to put that thing down."
I feel you. You know?
Because the funny thing is, I can jump on it and like carve and maybe get a couple rock and rolls and grinders.
Right.
But then once I go down, I can't run out of shit.
Totally. You eat like, shit. Yo. Right. No old creepy bones don't fucking mend like they used to. That's for sure.
Oh, I know. And then there's a couple old dudes that I know, and they like throw on the full pads and stuff.
Right.
But dude, we never wore pads, man. I'm like, pads? What are you talking about, man? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, so I brought my kids to the skate park finally. Like, I brought them one time, and my son had a whole fit and shit, so we had to leave. This was like a year and a half ago, and so finally I brought them last week or the week before. Finally took them to a skate park, and you know, and I bought him a bunch of shit earlier, you know, fucking, you know, elbow pad, knee pads, fucking wrist guards and all that shit. So all I brought was knee pads. Went out there. My son just started, like, it's his first time basically even just riding around, he's like going over shit, like on the board at no fear whatsoever. And I was like, fuck yeah. My daughter kind of followed his lead. She wasn't really all that about it, but my son's like, fucking, he was like, I don't want to leave, like almost threw a fit because we had to go or whatever. But, you know, I didn't make sure that they have a helmet on and some, you know, knee pads, and that's it. But I skated around too. I didn't wear anything, but I was too scared to do anything because I don't want to fall and break anything because I gotta go to work, bro.
I know.
You know, when you get older and shit.
Dude, you were a shredder too, man. You were one of the top skateboarders around, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
remember how high you could ollie, dude? How many boards could you ollie?
4 at one.
4?
4. I think I did 5
Zoomer
like one time.
Zoomer and what's his name could do 5, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Well, Zoomer
and then
was.
You had freaking Mark, dude.
Zoomer was super athletic. So was Mark.
Yeah.
And Toby.
And Toby Wolf, and then who was the guy that always had? Remember, we'd go down the street from Steve's house and do the fly ramps, the jump ramps.
Yeah, that was. I mean, so that was Toby. Toby would come over. It would be Mark, me, you, Steve, Dan the man, Zoomer,
Ken Foudy.
Oh yeah, Kenny. Yeah, we used to always be in front of his house all day long too.
Yeah, we were always in front of his house jumping ramps.
Yeah, man. I mean, that was our life when we were kids. That's all we thought about. That's all we wanted to do. We didn't want to do. I mean, I never played any sports in high school or none of that shit.
Yeah.
It was all about skateboarding. I lost your video. The video is gone.
Oh, and what did I do? How did I
don't know. I have no idea.
I lost my video too.
But well, we'll just keep going. Fuck it. So so
can you see me?
No, can't.
No. I wonder what happened.
It just says Jesse's iPhone.
Wait. Really?
Yeah, I mean I can hear you. I just can't see your face. Uh-oh.
Well, I ain't that good looking anymore anyway, so you know, fuck it.
That's funny.
Oh shit, man! How did my camera turn off?
Here, hold on. I'm gonna end it real quick, and we're gonna start another one. Record. Recording in progress. Okay, so we're back. We had some technical difficulties.
I got a new hat tonight.
Sick.
I wanted at the show.
Fuck yeah!
It's an Oceanside hat.
It's dope.
I live in Oceanside. It's pretty cool. I mean, my kids love Oceanside.
Oh yeah.
I miss RWC and Santa Cruz a lot, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard, you know, like you never really get like tight with people that weren't like the people that you knew when you were a kid. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
And that's kind of a hard thing, you know, like I ended up down here just through random, like, basically, I hate to say it, but like drug addiction and fucking craziness, right?
Sure.
And I just ended up here and I ended up getting sober.
That's
and
good.
I was sober and clean for 13 years.
Fuck yeah.
And basically in life, everything started going good, man.
That's good. Hell yeah.
You know, like, so now, like, my kids are from here. They love it here. I'm like, I mean, I don't mean it like that, but I'm like kind of stuck here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. Totally understand. I mean, you know, plus you're by the ocean, and we'll talk about your daughter later, for sure, and what she does, and you know, but yeah, I mean, honestly, you know, I love California. I love living in Gilroy, but I want out of this fucking state, man. My wife won't hear it, but I need to get out of here.
Where do you want to go, like Idaho or something?
No, I mean, I could go to Nevada. I could go to Texas. I could go to somewhere else, but I can't handle the taxes here. I can't handle the fucking PC, fucking just everything, just PC. The fucking liberals just are scared of everything, and they want to make laws about everything. It's just, I fucking can't handle it anymore. And it's never going to get any better. It's just, I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, I'm talking about out my ass because I'll never be able to leave because my wife just she'll never leave.
Oh, right. Yeah, my old lady too. I was like, let's go to Tennessee. I got a grandma who just died recently, but she died. My mom was from Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
And so I love Tennessee.
Nice.
And I've gone there a lot, like over the years, like for Christmas and Thanksgiving and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And Tennessee's pretty awesome, dude. And it's like pretty good economy.
Uh-huh.
You know, like you can shoot all the guns you want. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of cool stuff, you know?
Right. Okay. Yeah, no, that's sick. Yeah, but
my wife's saying, she's like, we ain't leaving California, boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about?
Totally. Yeah, I mean, my wife, her mom lives near here, and then the rest of her family's in Sacramento. You know, I have cousins around here, and then my parents moved to Carson City like 12, 13 years ago. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they only live like 2 or 3 miles from Billy Ganley.
Oh man, Billy Ganley.
Yeah. So whenever I go up there, I hit him up, and then we hang out.
Do you see Billy Ganley?
Yeah. Every time I go up there now, we hang out.
Dude, when you see Billy Ganley, God, tell him I said hi. You know?
Yeah, of course.
I think about that guy often, man. He's a good dude.
He'll watch this. Yeah, totally. Yeah, he's an OG. He's family. Fuck yeah.
So that's out by Mammoth then? Is that what that is?
No, so he left Mammoth. And I'm going to do a podcast with him, so I don't want to tell his story. But but he decided to move to Carson City. And then he got a place there. He got married, and then he's only a couple miles from my parents, so it's convenient to go there, and then go hang out with one of the homies up there while I'm there. So it's cool.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
That's cool.
So let's get into that. So your dad was a musician, and you were probably into music all your life, but when did you decide to get into a band? Like how did the whole thing with Plutocracy like come about?
Well, so basically we lived over on I think the street was called at that time it was maybe Avondale or something.
Okay. And
there was a basement underneath. Mm-hmm. And at the time, me and Kindred and Clint Baker and Billy Ganley were running around a lot.
Okay.
And we were just kind of cruising. And, probably Billy was a good musician too. Uh-huh. Me and Clint, we were just along for the ride, pretty much. And, Billy and Kindred, they noticed one day that I had basically a full-on jam room set up underneath my house. Uh-huh. My dad had, the whole setup, a 4-track, a drum set, a bass, a guitar, or maybe 2. Uh-huh. And then Kindred, I remember he saw that thing and he's like, dude, he's all Jess. He was always all like
totally.
Kramer or something.
It's his ADHD.
He was like, he's like, dude, we're starting a band.
Fuck yeah. That's rad.
And so he saw this thing. We already had the setup, like it was already plugged in. You know what I mean? Like all you had to do is go down and fucking turn the amp on and start jamming. And so he's all, dude, we're starting a band, bro. You know what I mean? It's like, we're starting a band. So we started this fucking band. And there was this skater kid named Aaron.
Okay.
Because I like to play the guitar too. Uh-huh. And so me and Kendra were both playing the guitar. And this kid, Aaron, was a singer. Okay. And he was a kid from Sequoia, and he was pretty cool. I forget the name of the song. Kindred wrote it. He wrote most of the songs. Uh-huh. Kindred always wrote the shit. You know what I mean? And he wrote this one song, and the words were one thing, but when this kid Aaron would sing it, it basically sounded like he was saying "War on the PVC," and like it was like this punk song, right? And Kindred's like, dude, it sounds like you're saying "War on the PVC." Just fucking classic. I would get all like start yelling, right.
Exactly.
Get all excited, And so basically, Kindred's like took me to the side. He's like, dude, this kid Aaron's out of here, dude. Fucking beat it, bro. He's all, you're gonna sing, dude. I'm like, oh fuck, really? All right. So next thing you know, I'm singing. Fucking Clint Baker's playing the drums.
Okay.
And Billy Ganley is playing the bass. I think it was Billy Ganley or maybe Mike Long. I don't know. I forget who was first.
Okay.
But yeah, I remember Kendrick McCune, Billy Ganley, and Clint Baker and I are running around, and we're like, you know, kicking shit over and breaking stuff everywhere we could. You know what I mean?
Being punks.
But yeah, that's how we started it, because my dad kind of had the whole setup, and he was like, "Oh, you guys are into music? Hell yeah, use it anytime you want." You know what I mean? Cool. And so it was chill.
Fuck yeah. And then, so what did you guys call yourselves at first?
The Social Outcasts.
Nice. Okay.
That was the first name.
Okay.
The Social Outcasts.
Hell yeah.
And so we would go around. I don't know if you ever remember seeing any of those pieces. Like, mine were never as good as yours.
Okay.
You made some good shit, but we went around and like painted a couple of Social Outcasts all over Redwood City. You know what I mean? Behind 7-Eleven, and then in that old, remember that old like water treatment, sewage treatment plant we used to go to?
Right.
I don't even know. It's probably not even there anymore.
Huh? No. Cam, can you please go back inside? Yeah, go see mommy. Yeah. That was, so there was one.
Yeah, so Social Outcast for a little bit.
Okay. Cam, go back inside. Mommy's in the room. Go see her. So I mean, you guys wrote some songs and whatnot. And then did you play any shows before Max or Thomas came in?
We played before Thomas. Yeah, we played like a couple of backyard parties.
Okay.
We did a party at my house one night. There was like a shit ton of people.
Oh, yeah.
My dad kind of orchestrated it. The whole backyard was a pretty big backyard, remember?
Right. Hella.
The whole backyard was full. Uh-huh. And like, I remember we were just screaming at the top of our lungs. You know, my dad was tripping. He's like, dude, the cops came. I had to go and tell them to beat it. You know what I mean? Like, and he talked them into leaving and letting us keep going because he was like an adult, you know?
Sure.
And we that was one. And then we played a couple of shows, I'm pretty sure, with like that whole Menlo crew. Remember the Rejects? You remember Matt Struthers?
Maybe.
Matt Struthers. There's another kid who does digital stuff too right now. Still, that's like OG. They're like OG Menlo kind of wrong side of the track punker guys.
Okay.
And they went to Menlo, but they lived at the very edge of Redwood over there.
Okay.
Remember that over there right before
Atherton.
Fifth Avenue and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so those guys, we played a couple of like kind of party type shows with them, like really early garage days. I remember there was this one song this guy Matt Struthers wrote. It was like, grounded 27 days and 27 nights in my room without any lights on, grounded. And it was like pretty badass. And those guys, we played with them. And then I think we played with Green Day a couple times.
Right.
Pretty early on. And that was, I can't remember if that was with Billy Ganley or Chris Vasquez.
Okay.
Fuck, Chris Vasquez, bro. But anyways, we played with them, and I remember we played a couple shows with those guys, and they were kind of trippy, like me and Kendra, we called them the MTV punkers. And because they were like, posing. You know, like now I realize you kind of got to sell out. Like we all got to buy houses, man, and feed our kids. But at the time, we didn't know that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're like, fucking sell out. Right. Fuck those guys. And then they ended up accidentally stealing Max Ward's seat.
Yeah. Right.
And he was pissed, and him and Kendra were like pissed. Like, fucking kill
them. They never let that shit go. That's the funny thing. That's just funny. But
yeah, so then there was that. Hey, dog, come on now. Calm down. But yeah, so we played a couple shows. I don't think I ever played a show with Thomas. Like Thomas was always hanging. But I think, dude, I had like Okay, dude. I had like a fucking bad acid trip one day on the way to Max's house.
Okay.
Me and Kendra dropped acid after lunch one day. and like, I'm like, bro, this is fucking crazy. You know what I mean? And like, he's all, fuck it, man, come on, let's go. And we're like at the bus stop because we took the bus to Atherton to get there because all we had was skateboards. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And we were on the bus and I was freaking tweaking balls, dude. And Kendra, I'm like, bro. And Kendra's all, don't worry, man. It's all good. We're going to be cool. You know what I mean? Like, we fucking get to Matt's house. And Matt and Thomas was there. Uh-huh. And that day, I'm pretty sure Kendra was like, Thomas is going to be in the band.
Okay.
And I almost feel like that was almost like, dude, to be honest with you, bro, like my dad, we had bands play at my house all the time. Mm-hmm. And there was all these kind of like trippy, like starving musician guys, right? Uh-huh. And there was this like moment where I was like, you know what, man? Like, I'm not going to be a starving musician. Like, it just wasn't my path. You know what I mean? Like, and I was never really that good. Like, I love to play the guitar. I love to play the ukulele. Singing is good for your soul. Uh-huh. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I wasn't like Kendra, dude. He wasn't going to do nothing else. Right. And he knew that at 15. Right. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He was like, dude. You know what I mean? Like, dog. You know how you say that shit? But he's like, yeah. But he was going to totally... That was what he was going to do. No matter how the fuck he was going to do it, he was going to be a musician. Totally. And I was kind of like, I wasn't. I was probably going to be a fucking carpenter or an electrician. And I was a carpenter for a decade. I've been an electrician for like 15 years now. Like, that was kind of my path. You know what I mean? Like, but so I think that was the last time. I remember Kindred, he was kind of always calling the shots. You know what I mean? Right. Like, that dude, I love that guy, man. He was like, he was larger than life. And I would always just kind of like, I'd be like, all right, man, like maybe I was I had a little bit more sense about some shit. But if he said he wanted to do something, I'd be like, all right, man, I'm with you, brother. Let's go. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like he was usually calling the shots. And so this one day he called the shots and he says, hey, fucking Thomas over here. And I love Thomas. Thomas was always around. He's a cool fuck. You know what I mean? Thomas is fucking cool as hell. And he's like, dude, Thomas is going to be in the guitar. We're going to have another guitarist. Thomas is going to play. And we jammed a couple jams, but I don't think I did another show with him. Okay. You know? Yeah. I would have loved to, though. Right. It would have been cool.
Fuck yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But.
No, that's sick.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and then we were talking when the camera kind of went off. We had technical difficulties, but so I'm wearing my Stinkweed shirt right now. Kindred's birthday was a few days ago. You know, every year, Kindred's parents would have a little party at his house. A bunch of people would go over there, and they would actually have it at the Oasis, this bar that was in pizza place that was in Menlo Park, and they would all meet there. And then when that place closed, they started having people over at Kindred's house. And so we went.
Like at Kindred's mom's house in the same spot?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so we went a couple years ago, and, you know, and there was hella people there. Saw Clint there as well. You know, and then that's when you and I started talking a lot more. And then you got me that track that your father did about Kindred, and then so I uploaded it, and then I sent it to Kindred's mom, and she absolutely loved it. Well, this year, a couple of days before Kindred's birthday, she was on my website, you know, doing some searches or whatever, and she replied saying, you know, thank you very much for adding this post or whatever, you know, because she was looking for music for what Kindred did. So then I made another post, reposted that up, and then posted another mix that I made of all of Kindred's music that I made like 4 years ago or whatever. And then she sent me another email back just saying she highly appreciates anything we do and all that. And thank you very much. So I was like, absolutely. Yeah. And then I sent it to you. And then if you want to, you could say what you said off camera, you know, about how you found something in the street. Remember? You sent me a picture of something you found after you heard that.
Dude. I mean, yeah, I'm really grateful that you know, you called me. You called and reminded me it was Kendra's birthday, I think, a couple times now.
Sure.
And, you know, it was funny. Like, I live in San Diego, man. It never rains here. And it's like always 75 degrees and beautiful. And that morning you called me, it was freaking raining out. And it was cold. And it was like trippy kind of, you know, and I went outside, like, basically I'm like, I go outside, I'm kind of like, I always get like in a little bit of, I'm getting kind of old and hokey, and I get a little like teary eyed, you know, I'm thinking of old. I used to always call him King Dread. Okay. That was my nickname for him. Yeah. I called him King Dread. And I'm like, fucking King Dread fucking had to go and die on us, you know what I mean? And I went outside and it was raining, and I'm not even joking you, this fucking guitar pick comes floating down the fucking street in the puddle, and right when I was standing there putting out a smoke. Crazy. And there's this guitar pick, and I'm like, what? And I leaned down and I picked it up, and then I called you up, I think, or something. Right. And then after that was when I kind of listened to the song a couple times. You know, trippy, you know, that song is about a guy named Tuffy Tufferson. Right. And the song, I think Tuffy Tufferson is actually a song that Kindred's uncle wrote. Okay. Really? The name of the song. Okay. Or it was a poem or something. Well, anyways, when I was gone, Kindred would go rap with my old man sometimes. Mm-hmm. And so Kindred went over to my dad's house one time and was telling him about his uncle. Because Kindred's uncle, or was it Kindred's dad, was like in the symphony or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Frank.
Well, Kindred had somebody in his family that was a really good musician, was in the San Francisco Symphony or something.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And was also like a really good, like, mastermind musician like Kindred was. Dude. So anyways, he shows up at my dad's house and he's talking to him, and he's like, yeah, man, like, you know, this, my uncle wrote this song about this cowboy who can roll a cigarette with one hand and fucking light it and smoke it too. You know what I mean? Yeah. And my dad tripped out on how cool Kindred thought that was. Uh-huh. And that was the, you know, and so like my dad wrote this song that was kind of like an epitaph, like almost like basically the life we lived. You know what I mean? And it talks about how, like, you know, we started out in this fucking garage band playing loud ass punk rock music. And then how basically Kindred, that boy, he loved just rock and roll. And the old man, he just means rock and roll, just playing music. You know what I mean? He's not like saying, like, maybe Kindred wasn't a rock and roll guy. Like, he was more like a fucking metal badass and whatever. He did all kinds of good music, right? Yeah. But, and he mentions how that boy loved rock and roll. Mm-hmm. And then he also mentions how we all kind of like, dude, it got dark, bro. We did some heavy stuff, you know what I mean? Like, it seems like those Redwood boys, bro, we kind of like went through some heavy stuff, you know what I mean? And I don't know why, because we all had it pretty good, kind of. Like, we didn't have money or nothing, right? But we had like pretty decent backgrounds. Yeah. But we all kind of were pretty rough edged too, you know what I mean? Yeah. But so he mentions that too. And so I'm listening to this long ass song of my old man singing about my brother. Mm-hmm. And dude, I swear, man, every time I've heard it since, I've fucking cried my eyes out, dude. Yeah. Like,
it's an emotional song, man.
Yeah, totally. But
well, cheers to Kendo.
Yeah, salute, cheers. I was really grateful you posted it up anyways, because it's really like, you know, I live far away from my father, and it was really cool to hear his voice singing about our brother. You know what I mean? Because he loved Kindred too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I really appreciate that you guys found that, and then I was able to post it up for more people to hear. Because that's what I love doing, man. I mean, I've never been a musician. I got to do vocals in one band, and it was fun to do, and I got to write shit and whatever. But my thing is, I've been able to, find music or share video or whatever of stuff that's shared with me, and I'm able to have a platform that I can put it out onto, and then I can have more people hear it through. And social media isn't always the best thing for everything, but I get to send shit out, and people in Japan and Australia and New Zealand and all this shit get to hear this. It's fucking cool, man. And
I think it's awesome, man. I love seeing your shit.
Thank you. Yeah, but
I mean, I think that what you do is like super great, bro. I mean, even if it doesn't pay, it's like a great thing that basically will last forever.
Yeah, and just like everybody that we used to hang out with, everybody in the bands that we've all been around, they weren't in it to make any money. They were in it to play music, party with the homies and just fucking chill. And that's all it's all about, all the records that we made, we put money into. I fucking gave all that shit away. I didn't make $1. I wasn't into it to make $1, because any of our friends' bands that gave, that made shit, they gave it to us. They didn't make us pay for it. Like, that's just the way it is. Like, we're not going to be millionaires. We do it because we love to do it. I make these mixes every week or every month or whatever, and I just send that shit out. I want people to hear that shit. I want people to bump it in their car and fucking enjoy that shit and wait for the next one to come up. And me and Frank, we just decided to do a podcast. I had it in the back of my mind that I wanted to do one. He was the only person I knew that was close. Him and I had a lot of old stories to tell about, not just Kindred, but, just the whole scene. And, because we're basically from the same area, and it's worked out. We got a lot more fans from a lot around the world, whatever. And it's just cool, but we're just, grateful that I got to meet you. I got to meet all these other people, and we're kind of in that scene of all the bands. Not everybody gets to do that kind of shit, and then go see other bands and watch them get all excited over other bands, and that's just, it's fucking life, man. But and that's why I wanted to do this. It has, me and Frank, we still run a podcast, but I wanted to do something where I could get more in depth, one-on-one kind of thing with friends that I haven't talked to in a long time. Because you and I, we text a lot, but we don't really sit down and fucking talk like this. And it's a treat, We get to come up with fucking old memories and shit and laugh about that shit and cry about that shit. Yeah. So it's cool, man.
Oh, dude, I'll never forget, like, taking the bus and going down the Tombos and then down 41st. And then going down to Go Skate, remember?
Yeah. We hanging out there all day.
Go Skate, and it'd be like, wasn't like Jeff Hedges was one of the guys that worked there or something?
Fedge. Fat Larry, fucking bitch ass.
And then wasn't there a black dude with dreads that was like a damn good skater too?
Yeah, I don't remember his name though. I know Zoomer would know, because Zoomer doesn't forget anything. He knows everybody's fucking name.
Oh really?
Oh dude, yeah, he's got the fucking best memory ever. Like,
I can't remember shit.
I mean, I remember a lot of stuff, but I can't remember little details here and there. But he remembers everything. And if
really?
I'd be like, I'll have this thought in my mind, like, hey, remember that? And Zoomer would be like, oh, dude, yeah, fucking, whatever was there. It was like fucking 6:15. Like, dude, like he's got a photographic memory. So I always hit him up whenever I have questions.
Right on.
But
yeah, those skateboarding days were pretty awesome, man. Like, God, I carried around a skateboard. Mm-hmm. You didn't see me without a skateboard until I was like almost 30, dude.
Fuck.
You know what I mean? Like, But man, I love skateboarding, dude.
Oh, yeah, it's so
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It hurts me to go to the skate park and not. My kids are really into skateboarding,
right?
And it hurts me to go and not bring a skateboard.
Right.
A lot of times I'm like, dude, I'm gonna pass. You guys, y'all go ahead. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let's get into that. So when did you start bringing your kids out surfing?
Oh, dude, like, I live in Oceanside in this really beautiful little, like a blue collar town. Mm-hmm. And right down this street here, about 2.5 blocks, is the beach.
Damn.
At that time, though, when I had babies, we lived like 20 feet from the sand. Wow. In this little duplex. Wow. And basically that's all. Allie, my wife, is super into the beach. Mm-hmm. She went to Sequoia too.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, the first time they were on a surfboard was probably like when they were like 2.5. As soon as my old lady would not be freaking out too much. Right. You know what I mean? But I bring them out on my longboard, ride them in the summer around here. That gets really nice little rollers, perfect for beginners. Sure. Oh, yeah. But yeah, and they picked up on it pretty quick, you know. Uh-huh. That and BMXing, scooting, skateboarding, like, dude, like I remember I bought my kids little like miniature GT BMX bikes. Uh-huh. And I remember we had this dirt track down here, like a couple double setups and a drop in and a couple berms that kids would build. Sure. And I remember my daughter was like 8 or 9 years old on her first BMX ever. And we're like up at the top. She's like, let's go to the track. I'm like, the track? How do you even know about that? And she like looks up at the top and this little fiery redhead girl, dude, like pretty fit, fucking tomboy little girl, drops in on the dirt bike and fucking boosts the doubles like I never seen anybody do.
Damn.
Like and lands it perfect on the other end. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? And she did the first time we went to the skate park, barely. We go over there and we sit there and we get to the bowl. It's like a 6-foot bowl. I don't know how the hell she did this. She looks at the bowl for a minute, just like she did those doubles. Right. And she'd been watching the other kids. She drops in. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even joking. Right. It like gives me shivers. Drops in and fucking does like a 1-foot ollie out the other side and lands it perfectly.
Damn. Skills.
As like a 3.5 foot, like when most kids are wearing training wheels. Right. She's like, dude, I'm gonna go bust an ollie out the fucking coping about it. You know? Like, I'm not even kidding you. And she's kind of been that way the whole since. Oh yeah. You know.
And then what about the surfboard? So you got her out to the water when?
She probably started surfing about she started surfing probably like 7, 8. Okay. And then she started by 9, she would like win every competition she went in.
Dang.
And then she's pretty much won every competition that she's been in since. And now she's on the QS, which is like basically she's in Portugal right now, surfing with some of the best surfers in the world. Wow. She just won the US Open. Right. Basically, she's like a 15-year-old in the NBA. Jesus. Or you know, Major League Baseball or something. Wow. She made $45,000 in the last 2 months surfing, winning competitions.
God, that's crazy. That's so.
I mean, I probably shouldn't mention that shit, but it's fucking crazy, dude. Awesome. It's kind of terrifying, actually.
It is. But dude, she's a prodigy. She's got skills.
Yeah.
And so she's on the junior Olympic team?
No, she was on the junior Olympic team she has been since she was like 10 or 11. Wow. The USA surf team, they call it. Sure. But there was a guy named Joey Baran that was the coach, and he wanted all these kids to do the Olympics. Like, remember when we were kids and it was non-professional kind of? Right. But then a lot of the other countries started farming out pros. Like if you were a professional surfer and your grandmother was from Switzerland, then the Switzerland team would be like, hey, come surf for us. We'll pay for,
I see. Right.
We'll pay your family money, And so they kind of like, they figured out, America figured out that Japan's doing this, China's doing this, Switzerland's doing this. All these countries are farming out pros to be in the Olympics. They told Joey, hey, you can't have pros. You can't have juniors in the Olympics. We need to have pros.
I see.
So the Olympic surfing that we all saw was basically a professional contest.
Oh, wow.
Which was cool.
Yeah.
Carissa Moore won it. She's awesome from Hawaii.
Okay.
But no, Katie is now on what's called the qualifying series.
Okay.
So she just won this contest called the U.S. Open. Her and her mom, Allie Sandelin, who's a deep redwood girl from Sequoia, she went with Katie to Portugal. So they're in Portugal right now. And then they're going to be there for about a week and a half. And then they're going to rent a car and drive to France.
Wow.
To this other place called Hossiger. And they're going to surf another contest there.
Jeez.
And then they're going to come home for a week. And then we're all going to go to Hawaii for another contest on the North Shore.
That's rad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty crazy.
It's
been a pretty wild ride. Like,
that's so cool. And then then when she turns 16, she can be in the Olympics.
Yeah, she could be in the Olympics by, I think it's 2024.
Okay.
Maybe is it, or it would be 26.
It would be the next one, obviously, because she's 15, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool. And just thinking she got an Olympic gold, that would be fucking icing on the cake.
Yeah.
So rad. Dude, I'm so happy for you guys. This is so awesome.
Oh, thanks, man.
I love seeing those fucking updates. I'm just like, that's Jesse's daughter, dude. That's fucking so dope.
Oh, do you see that stuff?
All the time, dude. This is prodigy shit. It's like Nigel Houston. Like Nigel Houston is a prodigy skateboarder, right? He was pro by
he's a rad skate. He's
11
guy,
or 12. Right? He's probably been the best skateboarder in the world for a decade already. He's only like 23 or 24 or something. It's crazy, but he was that good that early. That's how I see Katie.
Oh, even as a micro, he was the best?
Oh, yeah. I mean, dude, yeah, he was doing shit the kids shouldn't have been able to do.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. No, he's been sick forever. Yeah, so that's how I see Katie, that she's just like, she's that good that early. That's insane.
Yeah, and I guess once you're that, I guess people like that kind of keep being good, huh?
Right, yeah. I mean, you can only progress. And, as long as she likes it and she's still with it, fuck it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because at some point in time, some people just get disinterested, but,
Yeah.
But hopefully she'll just keep going at it and fucking getting better and better.
Yeah, hey, Timo. I got a son who's named after my dad. His name, Tim.
Nice.
Timo, come here. He's probably like, fuck you, old man. He's 14.
Nice. Oh,
yeah, dude. I got 2 teenagers, man. And I remember my old man told me, he's all, dude, you're in for it, dude. I terrorized my parents till I was like 28, 30.
Oh, dude, yeah, I don't.
But
my daughter's 8 and she's acting like a teenager already.
How old is she?
She's 8 and a half, and I can't even deal with it. And since she's only that, like she wants to be 13 so bad, it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
but whatever.
Hey Tim, come here. Come here for a second. He might come over here in a minute.
Hey, so I've been drinking these non-alcoholic Heinekens, just so you know.
Oh, those! Hey, St. Pauli girl.
St. Pauli has one too.
They make a good one.
Yeah.
I remember one time when I was not drinking, I got a 6-pack of those things. I was building the deck. I swear I thought I was drunk after like 3 of them. My old lady's like, hey, dude, those things don't have any alcohol in them.
Placebo effect is what it was. That's funny.
Come here. This is my son. I want to introduce you to my son.
Hell yeah.
Come here.
What up, Tim?
This is my boy right here.
How you doing?
This is my friend Carl Fleck. I grew up with this guy.
Yeah, I've known him since your age.
Yeah. Nice.
Long ass time. I seen your.
Yeah, this dude's pretty cool. He's an awesome surfer too, actually.
And I seen videos of you skating a long time ago too. You were pretty sick.
Thank you.
Keep that shit up.
Yeah.
Cheers.
All right, good night, bro. Meet you.
Hell yeah. So let's fucking do this. Did you write down your albums?
I did. You know,
okay.
I got the album. I got basically the band and the song.
Okay, hold on. So there's going to be a reoccurring theme on these, like it or not, whatever. This is what we're going to try out. So I asked Jesse to come up with his top 5 albums of all time. You know, and then so you know you can name an album, and then you know obviously the artist or whatever. You can name your favorite song or whatever, and then explain why. Why do you think that is, or why you have that in your top 5?
Okay, well, so right now, like you know, it's been a crazy time. You know what I mean? This is a crazy time we're living.
Oh.
And so there's this, I think the album was called Wild in the Streets, okay. I think. Uh-huh. And it was the Circle Jerks. Okay. And there's this one, I don't know if you ever seen the movie The Repo Man. It was a pretty kind of cult classic from back in the day. I think so. But anyways, there's a song called When the Shit Hits the Fan. Uh-huh. And basically, you know, it's all soup lines, free loaves of bread, 5-pound box of cheese, and bags of groceries. Let's all reject the state. Because, gee, the money, it's really great. Because we just get by however we can. Oh. We all got to duck when the shit hits the fan. And basically, I swear, it's about what's going on now. All these people getting double unemployment. Oh. They're like, fuck it, I don't want to go to work. Totally. What? You know what I mean? Like, you know, absolutely. And so that's one of my all-time favorites from back then. Yeah. They're from fucking 88.
Right.
And it basically totally foreshadows 21.
Yeah.
And so Wild in the Streets of Circle Jerks is definitely one of my top picks.
Sick.
And then another one, which reminds me of like one of the first concerts I ever went to was with Kindred McCune. Uh-huh. My dad took us, and it was DRI at the Omni.
Sick.
And I think the record's called Oblivion.
Okay.
Or maybe it's the song, but that's also one that basically is shooting me back from 88 or 90 or whatever it was.
So was it
21? And it's like it's going. The oceans are boiling. The skies are turned red. The cities are melting, or something like that. And we'll soon be dead. You know what I mean? And that's the DRI song that also is like this crazy, like foreshadowing of like these crazy times we live in.
So I think the album was either dealing with it or crossover.
Oh, and the song's called Oblivion, right?
Right. So I think it was on one of those albums.
Yeah, and that's one of my all-time favorites. DRI, I love them. Another one like that is more like of the things I've dealt with in life. Mm-hmm. I've struggled with all kinds of stuff. Mm-hmm. I use and abuse things too much. Right. And so there's this kind of redhead guy. I'm also, kind of diehard kind of redhead culture or whatever. I don't have any hair anymore, but this guy, Tyler Childers.
Okay.
And he's from the South, and he's this redhead good old boy. Mm-hmm. And he sings this song called White House Road.
Okay.
And basically it's about, it's just about hard living, and it's about people telling you you're living too hard and warning you you're going to end up dead, but being like, hey, there's nothing better than some cocaine when that wind runs cold. And I got women all the way up and down this creek that keep my motor running and keep me running good. You know what I mean? And so that's another one, White House Road by Tyler Childers. And he's pretty much punk, but he's a hillbilly. It's not punk music. It's like, it's Americana, it's called, you know what I mean? But if you threw some distortion on it, and it would be punk, you know what I mean? And it's good shit. And then like another one, like in my kind of like, I was a big time stoner growing up. I'm not really anymore. It kind of turned on me after years, but from a young age, you know what I mean? So my other one is Jimmy Cliff by the Rivers of Babylon. And that's a great song that Sublime did. Sublime does a fucking awesome cover of it. I can play it on the oud pretty good too. It's all right. That's a good one too. That's one of my favorites. People think it's a Sublime song, but it's actually I think it was written by Jimmy Cliff. It might even been written by some older school guy. You know what I mean? Like before that. And then my last one, I don't even know if I got the song right, and I can't remember the record, but this is one that Kindred and I used to listen to, because I remember we'd sleep over at Kindred's house when I was just a young kid, and we would listen to Slayer like all night. And remember that one song about it's a masochistic feast or something like that? That's the one that's like kind of like I never forget. I really love Slayer a lot too.
Me too. Absolutely.
You do?
Oh yeah, no. Slayer's one of my favorite bands of all time.
Mine too.
Yeah, they're fucking sick.
And so that's it right there. The Circle Jerks, DRI. Throw a little hillbilly in there. Throw some Rasta reggae, and go back to some fucking Slayer, please.
Fuck yeah. Fucking awesome, dude. See, I love this shit. I knew I was. See, this is what I wanted. And I love your explanations, and then people might take this shit and go look for fucking that hillbilly motherfucker, This is what I wanted. This was fucking awesome. And I fucking appreciate your time, Jesse. It was fucking awesome. Every once in a while we gotta fucking talk like this. This has been fun.
Yeah. Well, dude, next time I want to go up and check you out, Gilroy.
Oh yeah.
I want to taste test some of those tacos up there. I hear you talking about sometimes.
Yeah, no, I'll take you to
like
even
meet
better
your kids
spots
too, man.
What's that?
I like to meet your kids and your old lady.
Dude. Yeah, they'll be all over you.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. But
cool.
Fuck yeah. Well, dude, thank you so much for fucking doing this. I really appreciate it. And I'll get it up as soon as I can. I'll probably have it up tomorrow so you can see it. And hopefully it's not all fucked up like the podcast that we tried to do.
Man.
It's all good.
It ain't a perfect world, man.
This is true. But man, thank you very much for doing this. I love talking to you.
I love you too, man.
All right, bro.
Thank you.
Good night. You too. Adios.